today. And that is all I'm going to have to, I'm going to share part of my story of resilience, because each one of us here today, you have something that you've gone through that has shaped the kind of a person that you are. Are we together? And maybe I want to ask another question. How many of us, you're feeling an inner turbulence in this season of your life? You struggle to wake up. You used to find meaning and purpose in life, but today you struggle through. And the things that used to make sense, they're not making sense anymore. You know, for all professionals, the other day I was speaking at the Heart Summit, and I was challenging we were talking about youth and well-being. And I challenged them. We have gone through like 3 phases. And the first phase of people who left campus and they were told, you know, I'll use an analogy of the fish and the fish pond. So they were told, hey, don't worry. You come, we're going to give you the fish. And that's why someone could just, you know, leave campus, you know, leave possibly their education and go, and they're told, now this is the key, go become a DO. You know someone who became a DO? Huh? For those who understand the joke, if you've been in Kenyan meme section, you'll understand what I'm talking about. You're given a key and you're told, go and conquer the world. So they were told, no, you don't have to bother about knowing how to fish. You don't have to bother about how you're going to get the fish. We're going to give you the fish. Now they realize, we have been giving too much fish. Now these people need to know how to do fishing. Let them go to the university and learn how to do fishing by themselves. And young people and all of us, we went to the university, learned amazing careers, profession. We came out, you know, oozing wisdom. But now they realize, we're having too many people who know how to fish. So what did they do? They took the fish pond. So we have people who are hungry, they need fish. They have the skills to fish, but they don't have a place to fish from. So you are there, you have gone to the university, you have achieved all that you have to achieve, but in the current scenario, maybe this does not make sense to you. In the every single day of my life, I handle young people, even old people, who sometimes they don't know how to put the right foot in front of the left one to keep life moving. And life seems to be crushing us from within. For some of us, the things that used to make sense, they're not making sense anymore. And challenges are all over. In our business world is not turning out the way we wanted it to turn around. And possibly even our families, we are handling issues with our children, for those who are parents here. We're handling issues with our siblings. We're handling issues with our nation. I mean, if you look at the mental well-being of this country, it is at the brink. I mean, you walk around, everybody's angry about everything. And if you joke around, someone can just slap you. The other day I was joking, I said, as a country, we just need to be taken to another country. We go through psychology and counseling, and then we come back. Because things are really getting bad. And we are justified to feel the way we are feeling. Am I talking to someone who lives in this country? So then we are going to talk today and ask ourselves, what is the power of resilience in overcoming challenges? What is the power of resilience in overcoming challenges? And before you is Okanda Eugene, a young man who loves life, loves, hanging around with other young leaders in the corporate space and helping them become better. I believe that my life was meant to go through the seasons of life to turn out to be the beauty that is beheld by others. In that, every single day, I want to live a life that inspires other people. And I've gone through my own journey of resilience, and I'll be sharing with you that in a moment. Through my life and all that, I got an opportunity to sit myself down and write a book. I'll be sharing about that in a moment. Opportunities have come my way because I had the fortitude to handle those opportunities because of the resilience that I had actually embraced through the life challenges that I had gone through in my young life. Therefore, I want to ask you today, how are you viewing your life? What are some of the seasons and times that you've gone through that has shaped the kind of a person that you are? So I want to start by asking as a question, what do you know about these amazing people on your screen? The first one. What do you know about him? And don't tell me he was the first black American president. Everybody knows that. What do you know about him? Someone is saying he's Luo. Hey, Luo's in the house, Jamal. Luo's in the house. We know he's a Luo. He's a Luo. He belongs to us, you know. He just happens to live in America, but he's Luo. He's our son, you know. What do you know about him? You know the story of resilience in his life, right? He used to sell vegetables together with his granny. So he did not wake up one morning and became the president of the White House. And it is through those seasons when he was moving from one place to another with the sack of vegetables that was shaping the president of the American people. Now, the second lady, the upper picture, what's her name? Wangari Maathai. What do you know about her? I believe the spirit of activism in the Gen Zs, we carry her spirit. What do you know about her? She fought for the environment. I mean, the beauty of Nairobi right now is because of a story of resilience. I'm told in history, there's a time when people are fighting and someone pulled her hair and she signed a paper with a bloody piece of her hair. That is the kind of resilience she enthused. Now, the third lady, the second lady on the screen, what's her name? Oprah Winfrey. What do you know about her? She has used her story to inspire other people. I mean, she has a very powerful story. I'll urge you guys to go and check out her story. And the purpose that she has in this time and age, it was birthed through those painful seasons of her life. Now, the last gentleman on the far end, what is his name? Martin Luther King Jr. What did he tell the black people? I have a dream. But that dream, he never even lived to enjoy it. He fought for the right of the black people, and we know him because of his story of resilience. Now, I want to challenge us today. If today people are supposed to write your story, what will they say about you? He was born, he grew up, he got married, he gave birth to children, and then he died. You know, the oldest person in the Bible lived for how many years? Methuselah. He lived for how many years? We don't have a Bible scholar here. Anyone who want to guess? 969 years. But what do you know about Methuselah? He died. In fact, the Bible says he died. And most of us, we have gone through the vicissitudes of life, and the pendulum has oscillated so fast, and we have lost hope. You know, every single day when I speak to professionals, I see written on their face, some of them have died in their 30s. They're just waiting to be buried. Their dreams are long dead. You know, some of them are just living, you know, to pay the bill. You know, in this country, you just have to pay the bills, the taxes and everything. But this morning, can we call ourselves back to order and ask ourselves, how have our story shaped the kind of a person that we are today? Now, one of the things I have known, in the short time of life I have lived, because I'm not a Gen Z, but at least I speak I'm a millennial. So the millennial in the house, viva. All right, kumbe mko. You guys are here. I've come to realize, painfully, that character is not imparted. They can pray for you, they can lay hands on you, but character is not imparted. Character is built. And character is built in the seasons of turbulence. When your values are tested, when your identity is tested, when you go through the turbulence of life and everything that you knew will work doesn't work. When everything you thought will work doesn't work. Then the question becomes, what is resilience, therefore? Now, if you look at the picture on the screen, you have this perfect plan. Some of us, you said you'll get married when you're 25, you'll be driving at 30, And for some of us, that dream came to reality. But it's not the story for everyone. Life has a way of shifting the gears and testing your ability to adapt and be able to flex and become the kind of a person that God wants you to become. Now, whether you believe in God or whether you believe in a supreme being, we all have to come to the conclusion of the matter that you're not a mistake. I don't believe I evolved from a monkey. My goodness, you meet monkeys and you just don't want to say that I came. Or how many of us you believe you evolved from a monkey? Maybe. I mean, that is not even a thought you want to entertain. And we all have to understand that our lives is an outcome of a perfect design that God thought through who you need to become. But you realize that if God right now shows up in your room and tells you the kind of a person you need to become, everything is perfect and everything is lined up perfectly, the blocks are well aligned and stuff like that, let me tell us, you will be shocked. You'll be shocked. And some of us possibly you'll be like, no, I don't want to get into that kind of a business. But every single day he allows you to see one step at a time and become the kind of a person that you need to become. So resilience is the ability to adapt and recover from adversity, stress, and challenges. At least 1 in every 3 persons in this room is stressed and is possibly going through a mental health issue. So I want you to take some time and ask your neighbor, how are you doing? You see, our culture has taught us, and this is the mistake that even professionals do. Our culture has taught us, when we meet, we just like, hi, you're well? I don't even have the time to shake your hand and ask you, how are you doing? You're doing well? Everybody's in a hurry. And when you're passing through other people, hi, you're well? Oh, okay, so we will talk. And that was the last time you guys talked. Our culture have not created an environment where we can be honest with each other. I always have this habit when I meet with someone, and I always do this, especially with people who we look down on. When I walk in an office or in an apartment, or I'm going for a meeting, I always want to say hi to the janitors and be like, hi, you've taken breakfast this morning? You're doing well? How's your family? You're well? I learned that thing very hard. There's a time I left a restaurant, and one gentleman who was actually the security at the gate of this posh restaurant, he stopped me and he told me, I just want you to help me with transport. I don't know how I'm going to get home. And you see, how many of us do we pass by people like that? And so many of us, we're going through adversity, stress, and challenges. The curveball of life is rolling so fast. And sometimes we even don't know how to do it all together. And maybe some of us are seated here. So it's a critical skill for personal and professional growth. I mean, you know the KPIs you signed when you're being employed. And you know for sure the things that your boss is giving you to do, those are not the things you subscribe yourself to do. And therefore you have to continuously evolve and adapt to new challenges. And sometimes even the professional space is not peaceful. A lot of turbulence every now and then. But also, I just want to share some of the key things about resilience. Just let me go to this side. Number 1 is adaptability. When you go through challenges and stress, it tests your ability to flex. The truth of the matter is this: if you have this perfect plan and this perfect idea that you're saying, this is the direction of life I want to take, and you fixated into that, you will be so disappointed. Because if you do not allow yourself to flex, you need to ensure, and I'll be talking about that in a moment, your values need to be intact. But you might keep on changing the goalpost. Every single day, there is that opportunity to make sure that you understand, how am I going to handle this? You left from the university, you're not getting a job. You have applied to 100 companies, and no one of those companies have called you for a job. But you're still applying. Why don't you think about something different? Why don't you call yourself to order and ask yourself, what else can I do with what I have? So if you fail to be adaptable, you sabotage yourself. Because life knows how to reward people who are adaptable to every kind of a situation. I mean, you don't come to this conference and they wrote on the email, we are meeting in this hall. And then you reach to this door, and then they have changed and they have said, we are meeting on the 3rd floor or whatever. And then you just start getting angry. No, they told us this is the room, and I'm not going back home. I want to get into this room. And they tell you, no, we have just changed. Guys are meeting on the 2nd floor. But you see, that is the mindset most of us we view life with. So you left campus, you left the institution, or possibly you are fired. And every single day you are crying and you are crying and you are crying. Just not to know that one decision away, you can change your life by becoming adaptable. But the second key thing is perseverance. Goodness, perseverance is your ability to persist in the midst of a situation that is so painful. And I'll be sharing my story shortly. Because you realize sometimes you don't need to move. For some of us, our places of work is a training ground for perseverance. Because every single day, life is a university. It's a library for an opportunity to learn. Now, this is what I learned. For some of us here, and maybe those who are watching online, opportunities have bypassed you because they can't identify with your current self. Your way of thinking, the values you uphold, cannot be attracted to the kind of opportunities that come your way. But you see, when you weather through some seasons of life, there is a part of you that you lose that is called normalcy. Normalcy is a system of averages. And someone defined that as a society. A society is a system of normalized averages. This is the reason. Every time you break through the ceiling of a society, they term you as abnormal. In fact, for some of us, they even threatened you and they told you, you're going to be witched. And someone is going to dance around the pot for you. Because it looks abnormal. But you have to understand that when you're going through a painful process of life, you morph and you become a beautiful, wonderful kind of a person that is supposed to live an impactful world, a better place. Look at the story of a caterpillar. When you meet with a caterpillar, it looks so healthy, green, and it looks fluffy, but that is not its final destination. It has to go wrap itself in a cocoon for between 2 and 3 days, some extend up to 21 days based on the environment. And through those moments of time, it starts to morph. It starts to morph. And within a few days, it comes out as a beautiful butterfly. Now, when you meet with a butterfly, can you even cross in your mind that it was one time it was crawling? But for you to be able to persevere through those seasons of crawling gives you the ability to be able to fly. You see, for example, when you talk about for example, when a plane is taking off, the ability of the plane to be up in the sky is informed by how the momentum was on the ground. And in those seasons of sort of perseverance and pushing, in fact, it says that a plane consumes a lot of fuel during takeoff than when it's up there, and it's true. But you see, those seasons of perseverance and the moments that you need to push yourself through, it shapes the kind of a person that you need to become. The third one is emotional regulation, and I'll not dwell into that because the next speaker will talk about that. Your emotions are so powerful that it informs the way you react to issues and the way you also respond to the issues of the people around you. This is mine. Thank you. Okay, I have a lot of time, my goodness. The fourth thing is positive outlook. Your perspective has to change as a beautiful story of being resilience. The way you think, the way you look at life has to be tickled a bit for you to be able to see things differently. And the last one is problem-solving skill. I think there is no any other university that will teach you how to solve problem than life itself. You go to the university and you can have as many degrees as a thermometer, but you will not know how to solve problem if you don't have the courage and the fortitude to face those problems and face them and actually solve them. Over the last 5 years, I've become so better in organizational leadership because I know what it is to take an organization from ground zero to where it is right now. I mean, right now, God has blessed us so powerfully and so well. But because it was informed by those formative seasons, your ability to look at issues, the team is leaving, you don't have money, you don't have everything figured out. But let me just tell you a story. Just like all of us seated here, we don't get an opportunity to choose the kind of life we need. And we even don't get an opportunity to choose where to be born. And for me, I was born out of the wedlock. I met my biological father when I was 21 years old. For the 21 years of my life, I grew up with a surrogate father who made our life so difficult. And I grew up in a gender-based violent home. My stepfather just used to wake up and fight, you know. We used to see wrestling at home, live, which was not a good thing. And when I was a teenager, he just woke up and took a very sharp object. I even can't I've never seen that kind of an object. I don't know what the traditional people used to do. And he hacked my mom on the head, on the left hand and then the right foot. And my mom was down on the floor, bleeding so profusely. And I didn't know that she will be alive again. Taken to the hospital, she was hospitalized for 8 months. My younger brother was still breastfeeding. And I was the eldest. For 8 months, we didn't see mom because she was in the hospital. I had to be a mother to my siblings, change the nappies of my own brother, walk my sisters to school. And after my mom recuperated, she went to stay with the relatives. So for the better part of my teenagehood, I never lived with my mom, and now I didn't have a father. I grew up with a broken self-esteem. I didn't have the fortitude to stand before people and speak. You know, you go through circumcision, but you still come out timid and broken. And even those traditional practices do not make you the kind of a person that you need to become. And all these things, they poured into my academic performance. I performed so poorly. The people that I used to beat in an exam were those who didn't sit for that exam. And I remember one time Mwalimu came with this list and he was calling the names. You know, I went to a village primary school where they call everyone. And Mwalimu shouted, said my name. And the last student is, and the entire assembly shouted my name unanimously like a national anthem. That's how a serial of a failure I was. I did my first KCP exam and I got 199 marks. And I remember that evening when I was talking to my mom on phone, my mom told me something that has never left my mind. She told me, my son, I want you to go back to school. If you cannot study for yourself, I want you to study for me. I packed my bags and the following year I went back to class 7. Picked myself up again. Resilience. I didn't learn. Someone was not telling me this is resilience. Because when resilience calls for attention, it doesn't look like it. I went back to school, picked myself up again, sat for my second KCP, I got 284 marks. Bana hapo unapiga makofi, hata kama ikuwa mingi. That's why you clap. That's why you clap. I got 284 marks. 1 month later, when other students had already reported to school, I went to my stepfather and I told him, now, I was called to this school. Why don't you take me to school? He looked at me so ferociously and he told me, I'm not taking you to school. You'll be taking care of your siblings. Those words axed my soul. I took a rope, went to the back of our house, and I wanted to commit suicide in our own compound. When I was almost releasing myself from the rope that evening, I had someone calling me. It was actually my cousin. I cleared my face and the voice kept, my life is a miracle. And that's why every single day I want to be where people are, because people are dying within. And our stories reshape their perspective about life. And I cleared my face, went back. To cut the long story short, my grandparents, the parents to my stepfather, had made a commitment to take me to school. Now, I thought maybe it will be a good school and stuff like that. We started a high school in our village. We were 7 Form 1s. I remember when I was reporting, the principal took me to the class and he was actually introducing all the students by their names and the name of the village they come from. This is so-and-so, he come from that village. This is so-and-so, he come from that village. And that's where my destiny was shaped. I went there, I didn't know it was resilience. I didn't know it was adaptability, but I gathered courage. I pushed myself, sat for my KCAC, and I got a B+. I got a B+. Now, 2 weeks before I joined campus, I'll not tell you that story because it's long, I met my biological father. And I remember that evening when we met in this restaurant together with my mom, I could not hold my tears. I broke down like a baby. I was 21 years old. I broke down like a baby and I was asking him, where was he when I was going through pain? Where was he when I was almost committing suicide? Where was he when the world was breaking down? But something came to my mind and told me, everything you have gone through in life was necessary to get you here. And I want to challenge all you professionals. Everything you have gone through in life was meant to happen. And this is the good news. Nothing wrong will happen to those who didn't help you. I know we have been praying for thunder and storm and lightning to strike their compounds and their children, but let me tell you, they were objects of your transformation. If they were not there, you could not be the kind of a person you need to become. Because our lives has to be shaped through challenges and issues that makes us stronger. Thank you. I wanted to tell you guys this. When I met my biological father, we were thinking of doing an arambe for me to go to school and stuff like that. But the first question my dad asked me was, which level of education are you? I had carried my admission letter to Kenyatta University. And he told me I'm going to support your education all through. And my dad supported my education through my campus life. And I can tell you confidently, my dad has turned out to be my best friend. And I've used my story to help young men who have lost their relationship with their fathers. I think I've gone to more than 200 high schools just sharing my story. And let me tell you the sad statistics. Your Nile statistics, your ground. Students come crying to me. They've never seen their parents. Others are molested by their own parents. Others are going through issues, and most of them are broken. And that's why, in a world where you can be anything, you have to be kind. You have to be kind the way you treat people, the way you treat the staff below your rank. The way you treat that janitor who cleans your office. The way you treat that girl who brings tea on your table in the morning. The way you treat that security guard when you're going to apply for that job. It says a lot about your value because our society is broken and we can only be points of contact of healing in our community. And as I come to a conclusion, I want to challenge you. How is your purpose? How is your sense of identity? How is your sense of consistency? And how is your sense of commitment to the things that matter? I think it should be my second last slide. How is your identity? Because the blessing of resilience, it allows these things to come out alive. My identity is stronger now more than 21 years ago. I've become a person of vision. My vision has empowered people. I can just tell you a short story. Right now we are doing a youth governance and a youth leadership and governance training with my organization virtually, and we have onboarded 810 young people from 47 counties and 17 countries because of the power of vision. If I could have committed suicide, I could be long dead and rotting in the ground. But you see, the sad statistics is this. Most of us, we are not physically dead. We are dead with our vision. You cannot be sitting down to help the company create a strategic vision for 10 years and you don't have a vision for 3 months. You cannot be helping a company put together awesome structures and you don't have structures for your life. Because your story has to shape the way you look at life. Authenticity. Authenticity is important because it helps you to become a real person. But lastly, consistency, commitment, discipline, accountability, and adaptability. Because all of you seated here, you're born looking like either your father or your mother, or the combination of the two. But you will live and die looking like the decisions you made. And those decisions are shaped within seasons of vicissitudes. Because then resilience is able to unearth all these things in your life. I pray that the Lord bless you so much and that you'll have the commitment and the resilience to go through what you need to go through. And for some of us who are running away from our shadows, the most dangerous human being is one who is running away from their shadows. You need to have the mental ability and the stamina to look at the giants that you're running away from. Because if you don't heal, you're going to pass trauma to your children. If you don't heal, you're going to pass trauma to your generation. It is until you become the end of the chain. Until then, our society will never heal. Our society will never become better. Because if you do not have that resilience in your place of work, corruption has been happening in your place of work and you have been entertaining it. You need to be the last chain to break it. In your family, in your own business, in your own organization, be the chain breaker. Because chain breakers allow for the community and the society to become better. So I pray God will help you and give you the stamina to be that kind of a person. Thank you so much for listening to me. If you'll have an opportunity, we'll keep on interacting. You can check me out on social media, across all social media handles, on Twitter, on Instagram, on LinkedIn, on Facebook as Okanda S Eugene, and you can always feel free to reach out. I have I didn't carry so many copies. I have maybe 9 copies of this book. It goes for 1,000 shillings. I'll be glad to sign a copy for you. Thank you so much. God bless you.